Okay, welcome back to Tuesday. So we're going to talk now about the Capcom Cup, just sort of briefly, not in as much depth as we'll talk about it next Tuesday, which will be the Tuesday right before Capcom Cup.
Yeah. I mean, we may also even save it for one of the World Warrior videos, right?
Yeah,
so there's a potential of that. We might just do a video for there, and then you can watch it that way as opposed to being on our show. But we'll figure it out. We could do it twice.
Probably do both. Yeah. Why not?
Hell, we could stream us recording it and then give it to Hans. Yeah.
I like that idea. I like that idea. A little bit less work. All right, I'm there.
But yeah, so Capcom Cup last year was very kind of rushed together and stuff like that. Ended up with kind of a weird 8 players. Like there was only one North American player there, which was Chris G, etc., etc. This year, however, was handled very well. Yeah. And the breadth of location and characters and just play styles and stuff like that is fantastic this year. Like I am not saying this just because we're going to be commentating or whatever like that. Like I am legitimately hyped about this.
Oh yeah,
like,
of course.
This is going to be ridiculous. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm super hyped for this. And there's some crazy ass first round matches coming up.
So is it confirmed that the matches are done by points?
It's not confirmed, but to be honest with you, I think it would be foolish to do it any other way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because this is the complete, unbiased way to do this. Because if you do it through... The only other way I would have accepted it, which would have been actually also very cool, is if the players on the stage draw names out of a hat.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
That would be the other way. That would be really cool.
Okay. Just totally random.
Yeah. Just totally random. Like, Daigo, come up. Draw the name out of the hat. You fight infiltration. Oh, my God. You know what I mean?
That would be pretty sick, actually.
So it's one of 2 ways. Either seed by points or drawing a random name out of a hat. I'm cool with either way. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lueshi, for subscribing. Cool.
Oh, wow.
Nice. I need to set up that whole thing where it plays noises and things like that when we get subs and stuff. I haven't done that yet. So
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Well,
let's talk about who's in it.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So from the top,
players,
yeah, right from the very top, Luffy is first place, far and away first place. He has 1,921 points. Second place is 856. So he won Evo, which is the bulk of that. But he did very well the rest of the year too.
Yeah, I mean, let's just put it this way: Ryan Hart is 5th place in points, and if there was no Luffy, he'd probably be like 2nd or 3rd in points because there were so many tournaments that he got 2nd place in because of Luffy, right?
Second place is Bonchan. 3rd place is Razor Sien. 4th place is Snake Eyes. Really?
Yeah. He got a lot of points from TFC, actually. And then Wednesday Night Fights, he got a lot of points for that, too. So,
wow, all right. I didn't realize he got so high up. Dignitas, Prodigal Son, a.k.a. Ryan Hart. Nobody calls him Prodigal Son. Sorry.
I know.
It's like jchensor.
Dude, no one calls me that anymore. It's because my name is longer than my nickname is longer than my real name.
Yeah.
So no one says it.
Right.
So there you go.
Justin Wong, Infiltration, PR Balrog, E.G. Ricky, CNB Choo Choo, Mad Catz Daigo, CRS NuckleDu, E.G. Momochi, GL Valmaster, Razor Fudo, and Nishikin.
Yeah.
Those are the 16.
And let's take a look. My favorite thing to look at right now is just location distribution, right?
Okay.
So from Japan, you would expect the bulk of players from Japan just through history or whatever like that, right?
Absolutely.
We actually have, I believe, 5 players from Japan. If I'm not mistaken, it's Nishikin, Fudo, Momochi, Daigo, and Bonchan.
Yeah.
And I believe that's it. So just 5 players out of 16 players. So less than a third of the players are from Japan.
Right.
So this is already pretty impressive. That's showing how global Street Fighter really has become, right?
Sure.
Because from the United States, we have 5 players as well, right? So we have 3 EG boys, Justin, Ricky, and PR Balrog, Snake Eyes, and NuckleDu. So those are 5. So basically, those two make 10 out of the those 2 groups make 10 out of the 16 spots.
Then we have Choo Choo from South America, from Brazil to be precise. Shen from Asia, etc., aka Singapore. And then there
Infiltration is from Korea as well, from Asia.
Exactly. And then Europe, we have Luffy, Reinhardt, Valmaster.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And like I said, that's just it's an amazing,
pretty good representation.
It's a great distribution. Like I said, last year the distribution was kind of weird, but it was kind of like skewed a
no
little
Europeans.
Bit,
like it was, that's true. Yeah.
Oh no, there was one.
Was there one?
Alioun make it? Alioun made it.
Oh,
that's
Alioun
right.
was in there.
Yeah,
You're
he
right.
was in there.
You're right.
But that was it. From the Western Hemisphere, it was just Christie and Alioun. That was it. They were the only ones I remember, because I also remember they both went 0-2.
Right, yeah. Hey, one of these, or two of these, how many of these players are going to go 0-2? It's going to be, are there going to be 4 who go 0-2?
Out of 16 players, yes. 4 are going to go 0-2.
That's kind of crazy, 4 of those players.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
So yeah, they're... Yeah. Alright, hold on. Well... so the regional variety is great. The player variety, the character variety, I should say.
Yes, is also
great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Also great.
In fact, I remember the last time when I looked through it, there was only 2 to 3 potential repeats. So there's 2 Sagats in the tournament, which is Reinhardt and Bonchan.
Yes.
That is if Reinhardt plays Sagat.
Right.
Because he could go Yun.
Right.
Right? There's 2 Rufuses, Justin and Ricky, and that's only if Ricky plays Rufus, because Ricky is playing a lot of Poison recently.
That's not the only potential secret character in that mix. Okay.
Fair enough. Justin might not even go Rufus as well.
We'll see. I don't want to get too into that, but...
Yeah, and then, of course, Daigo and PR Rog could both play Evil Ryu.
Right, but PR Rog probably will also play Rog if it comes to certain matchups.
Yeah. So, Poison could also be a repeat if Ricky plays her and Shin plays her.
True.
But for the most part, it's super spread out.
So, okay, let's see. Rose, Sagat, Gen/Poison maybe, Snake Eyes, Zangief, then Sagat/ Yun, then Rufus/ etc.
Yeah, question mark.
Then Akuma, etc.
Dude, Infiltration is like Akuma, Chun-Li, Hakan,
Right.
whatever.
We'll see. PR Rog, as you said, Evil Ryu and Boxer. Nishikin will play Blanca. I think that's all he has. Fudo will play Faye. Valmaster Chun. Momochi will play probably Ken, but maybe Jury, maybe DeCapre.
That's true. Yeah.
We'll see. Then NuckleDu will play Guile or DeCapre.
Right.
Then Daigo will play probably just Evil Ryu. Choo-Choo will play Sakura or Chun.
Or Viper.
Viper.
Also, someone told me that he also has a really good Viper.
Okay, and then Ricky will play Rufus, maybe Poison.
Right.
So there are a lot of different characters represented. A lot of characters.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Look, I think we talked about this on stream. I don't know if we mentioned this on a Tuesday show before, but the top side of the tier list in Ultra Street Fighter 4 is amazing right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because last game in 2012, it was like top 3 characters: Akuma, Fei Long, Cammy.
Yeah.
Right, in any order. This game, like, I can't even name you the top 3. Like, I can't solidly feel comfortably be like, these are the top 3 characters. And we joke whenever we do commentary that there's 20 characters that are top 10.
Right.
Because that's how close it is. I mean, it's just impossible to decide the top 10.
You know, I've had conversations with some other top players about this, and people's estimation of the size of top tier has ranged anywhere from 5 characters to 10 characters.
Right.
So for the top tier to be that nebulous is awesome.
It's amazing, yeah.
Some characters seem like they jumped out as being really, really good. Yun, for example.
Right.
That just hasn't happened, you know?
Even with a player like Kazunoko playing, because Kazunoko is an amazing player, and he hasn't had that success. In fact, people like Sako and Gamerbee have had more success with Elena.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of character variety. You're right to also point out the play styles. There are some very defensive players in there. There are some very offensive. There are some great mid-range players. There are some shenanigansy players, kind of sort of tricksters. It really just runs the gamut. Right. It's awesome.
Let me ask you this, because obviously, to me, one of the glaring absences is Cammy. As far
as characters, yeah.
There's no Cammy in there. The closest Cammy was K-Brad.
Right.
Right.
Well, he was pretty close.
There's not a lot of Cammy players, but I don't think that's an indication that Cammy is hurt necessarily. Honestly, K-Brad and like Chirithi are the only ones that stuck with her. Like, I don't even think Aliun uses Cammy anymore, right? He switched over to Yun, I believe.
I don't even know.
I heard.
Okay.
And no one plays her anymore.
Well, I think that is an indication that she got hurt a little bit because she's not as good as she was.
Right.
She's not that. She's not as good. She's still a good character, but not as good.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said in 2012 the reason why she's good is because of unblockables.
Huge part of it.
Right, because
Absolutely.
before her frame traps weren't as effective because all she could do was throw. She had no overheads, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as she got back throw into like, hey, guess what? You're dead. Like, everything changed for her, right? So now that doesn't happen anymore and she has to spend meter to do the same stun and damage, she's definitely... She's gone down.
Sure, yeah. Well, how about there's no Yun?
Maybe Reinhardt.
Okay, that's true, but he's not like a Yun main necessarily. It took until the very last opportunity for Fei Long to get in there. Let's see, there's no... I'm just going through the characters list and trying to see who I think is really... there's maybe a Viper, as you said.
Maybe a Viper.
Maybe
that's
a Viper.
another one that's surprising to me.
Yeah.
Because all the Vipers, they didn't drop her. They just stopped playing.
That's
like,
how it seems,
where's Wolf Crone, you know?
Right. Who else do I think is really good who's not represented? Well, I mean, I think Ibuki is really good. Jury isn't in there. Makoto isn't in there.
Okay,
I think all those characters are really good.
That's kind of a glaring one right there.
Right. But, you know, the game is not that imbalanced. I feel like at the bottom, it's not that the characters are terrible, but they are clearly not as good as the rest of the cast.
Right.
Other than that, I mean, 2/3 of the cast is tournament-winning viable.
The only problem is the bottom half, but
I don't even think it's half.
I mean, at the bottom three.
There's like
3 or 4.
3 to 5, something like that. Other than that, people have won tournaments with characters.
I mean, thanks to like Nemo and Sako and even Gamerbee, like characters like Rolento and Elena, who were thought to be bottom 3, like they don't even look bottom 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now, to me, bottom 3, if I had to just pick it straight up, would be DJ, Dalsum, and Honda.
I think I would place Dan instead of Honda, but other than that, I think that's perfectly reasonable for sure.
Right.
But everybody thinks DJ and Dalsum are bad characters, right? That's pretty much
consensus. But the cool thing is, I think we mentioned last week that they said that they're going to do a patch that'll come out after Capcom Cup, and apparently DJ is going to be addressed. So at least that was the only thing that they hinted at being tweaked, being nerfed.
Right, yeah, that would suck. That would be too bad. Oh, man. Well, can you bring your little notepad back up so we can just quickly talk about which matchups are which? Yeah, we're not going to go over the whole thing. We're not going to
We're not going to analyze the matchups. Yeah, we'll do that either in another video or something like that. So
yeah.
But here's the potential first round matchups, and there are some ridiculous stuff. We're not going to be able to help but like comment on some of them, right? So one of the first round matchups is 1 versus 16, Luffy versus Nishikin.
Again, by the way, this is assuming that they go based on points.
Yes,
and I think you're right. It's a good assumption, but I just want to point that out.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So Luffy Nishikin. I actually think that Nishikin has a great chance for that. I feel like that's maybe his best, as far as characters go, that's one of his best draws.
Yeah, because Blanca can actually fight Rose.
Yeah,
you know
she does well. He does well.
Rose doesn't have the advantages over Blanca like she does a lot of other characters, so...
Yeah, I think that's a fine draw, and not a great one for Luffy.
Yeah, so. and the interesting thing about that is that only happened because Fudo had points. So when he won... Right. He pushed Nishikin down.
Right.
Originally, the person who won Dreamhack was going to be the one going up against Luffy.
Right.
But because it turned out... only Fudo and Gamerbee were the only 2 people who could have pushed Nishikin down, and they were in Grand Final. So basically, as soon as they got there, it was guaranteed Nishikin was going to play Luffy.
Then there's Bonchan versus Fudo. Rematch of Winners Finals at EVO 2014.
Jesus.
Dang. Shen versus Valmaster. Interesting. I don't know what to say about that matchup.
Apparently they played in an exhibition or something in Europe at one point in time. I can't remember. I don't remember who won because I was like, I don't think they've ever played each other. But then someone pointed out that they had. So,
okay, interesting.
Snake Eyes versus Momochi.
Sucks for Momochi. That's just a bad draw.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Especially because he has so much practice against Chris Tatarian.
He plays against the best Ken not in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just a bad draw. I don't know what Momochi's going to do. He has a jury.
Oh,
Right, so jury versus Geef, one of Geef's worst matchups for sure. I just don't know. Well, now that he knows this, he's going to be doing that hardcore. He's going to be jury versus Zangief training.
Yeah. Hardest part is who uses jury in SoCal.
Right. Yeah. Snake Eyes is not going to have.
King,
he's not going to have that high level experience.
Right.
So we'll see. And I guess now that I think about that more, that might be a bad draw for Snake. We'll see.
Yeah. It depends on who Momochi goes with. So.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But let's see here. Ryan Hart versus NuckleDu. See, this one to me is fascinating because who knows what the hell's going to happen in this matchup. We could have Sagat versus Guile, Sagat versus DeCapre, Yun versus DeCapre, or Yun versus Guile. What's going to happen here, you know?
Probably set up a blind pick, you think?
Yeah, or something like that. Honestly, I feel like NuckleDu would probably go with DeCapre. I feel like because he got matched up with Ryan Hart, it's almost guaranteed he's going to play DeCapre. Because I don't feel like Guile will do too well against Yun or Sagat as well as DeCapre might do against them. But, I don't know. That's the beautiful thing about DeCapre. Honestly, we still don't know anything about this character. You know?
Yeah, still figuring that out.
Yeah, we still don't know exactly how that character falls into everything.
Yeah, I agree. So Justin versus Daigo.
First round, dude. Like how does this happen?
Rematch of a billion times across multiple games.
Yeah.
Throughout a dozen years.
This is a bad draw for Justin. I'm gonna say that much because I feel like because Daigo's beat Justin most of the time.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean. So I think this is a bad draw for Justin. I know Justin wants to do well, but again, as we mentioned, who knows what the hell character Justin's gonna use? Yeah,
and you know, Justin will understand Evil Ryu. He's not gonna get caught off guard by the character. It's just gonna be, you know, because he's played against Eduardo and other people. But you're right. Daigo seems to beat him most of the time. Daigo's going to be one of the big threats. When he has prep time, he's going to be a major threat. So.
Yeah. So here's another interesting one: is Infiltration versus Choo Choo. Now this one sounds kind of like it might be lopsided, but they played an exhibition,
right?
And Choo Choo beat Infiltration.
Wasn't that in tournament?
Oh yeah, you're right. It wasn't. It was a tournament. Yeah. So Choo Choo beat Infiltration in a tournament in Brazil.
And that was in 2012, I think.
I think
right?
so.
When Akuma was even better than he is now.
So, not a guaranteed victory there for Infiltration, as a lot of people are going to say, look, don't underestimate Choo Choo, okay?
I agree.
Yeah, do not underestimate.
That country has good players.
Yeah. And then one of the most unfortunate matchups, the last one here, is PR Rog versus Ricky.
Yeah, obviously friends, you know, they're both on the same team, they live in the same area.
They used to live in the same house.
Right, yeah, that's definitely going to be unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, hey, that's how it pans out. What do you think about the matchup itself?
The matchup itself, I don't know, because you gotta imagine these two have played each other so much that they know each other super well.
Yeah.
And so this one's kind of like a crapshoot, especially because, well, the interesting part is that I don't think PR Rog and Ricky have lived with each other when PR Rog started going heavily into Evil Ryu and Ricky started going heavily into Poison. I don't know how much experience they have in that, but it is kind of an unfortunate if they do have to play each other. So, but what are you gonna do? That's the way it works.
How it goes.
That's the way it rolls. That's the way the cookie crumbles, man.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You should have got more points or less points, dude. It's your fault.
Right. Yeah. Or less. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Those are awesome matchups.
Right. Like, I feel like the way that the first round showed up, like every matchup was as much of a what as like possible that you could have set up. It turned out really good if they go by points.
Yes.
If they go by points.
Again. Yeah. Now, just to kind of ramp up the controversial aspect of this, which two? Now 4 players will go 0-2, but name me 2 players who you think will go 0-2.
Oh, jeez, you're making me go first too. I like it. Okay, I hate you, but which 2 players might go 0-2 first? Oh, God.
Yeah, we don't know if it's first to 3, first to 5, first to 2. I don't think that's been announced yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
You know, the hardest part for me to say is I don't know who they're gonna play if they lose. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
I'd have
true.
to start drawing out a bracket and
That's a
stuff
good
like
point.
that. You know?
Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, it's really hard for me to say unless I had a bracket to look at.
Okay.
That's my
All right,
cop
fair
out
enough.
answer. That's my cop out answer.
Fair enough, Alex.
Yes, avoid that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, we'll talk about this more in the
Yeah,
future.
for sure.
But that's a great lineup. I think Capcom has done a good job with this. You said it's much better than last year. I definitely agree with that. You know, as we were talking about when it came to Gamerbee and his not qualifying, I do think that there are some ways that they can improve the qualification process, like with online tournaments, making sure that they're more well known, making more tournaments that have points in other places.
It'll be really cool for that too because Europe is a lot more spread out, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if they travel to each other's events as often.
Europe is like the U.S. basically.
Right, but I
So-
just don't feel like they travel as much. Like, do they go
I don't
to
think
each
that there are
other's
as many
events?
majors as there are in the U.S. Is a big
Right.
part of it, but
So
there
that's why-
definitely are majors and
Yeah.
people go to them.
But they need more online events, kind of.
Yeah, more online stuff. Like especially if there's going to be an online thing in the U.S., there has to be one everywhere else.
Yeah.
So anyway, there are those improvements that can come in. But other than that, I think that it's awesome. It's something that I would love to see other developers do, other publishers do, with their games. And I think as far as Street Fighter goes, it does a great job to sort of get the game in people's eyes, and
It's
cool.
the Capcom is doing a good job.
Yeah.
I think they're doing a really good job with this. When Capcom, when the Capcom Pro Tour first started, it felt kind of like it was, like trying to find its footing.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, it's done a really good job. It's found a really good footing. Dude, when they announced the venue, like the Warfield, and then they're gonna have like all these bands and all these stuff performing and everything, and it sounds like it's gonna be like a big shindig. You know what I mean? And good prize money there too. Was it $50K total that they're giving out for prize money or something like that? But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Yeah,
So I mean,
absolutely.
you just probably hear me screaming on the microphone all weekend.
we'll
long.
definitely be screaming. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else to say for now?
No, I guess let's go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some minor game news here and there. So, okay, be right back.